going to ask you for permission to do that. I think let's go. We've got a lot of people here today, which is awesome. And there's some new people on here. So I would love to just go around real quick and just say who you are and where you're from. I'm Holly Stewart. I'm the coordinator of this forum. I'm a community educator, community nutrition educator with SNAP Ed out of Oxford Hills area. And Melissa, you want to go next?
Hi, Melissa Harding with the Old School Food Pantry in Rumford. We've been open about 2 months now. I'm the director, and I'm glad we could make it to a meeting.
Awesome. Amy?
I'm Amy Mailman. I'm with Good Shepherd Food Bank. I'm the community resource representative for Androscoggin and Oxford and the Northwestern Cumberland counties. And yeah, I'm super excited to see everyone on this call. Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you very much. Alina.
Hi, I'm Alina Gagne, and I'm the director of the North Freiburg Community Chapel Food Pantry down in Freiburg.
Awesome, great to see you. Linda.
I'm Linda Bradley, and I'm the director of the Sweden Food Pantry in Sweden.
Great. And from Bolster's Mill, I think that is.
Hey, I'm Karen Carino
Yep.
from the table, although using Bolster's Mill's Zoom link. And I'm the administrator of the table in Norway.
And the table is doing breakfasts as well as you're also taking clothing donations. Is that true?
Right. That's right. We do driveway breakfast 3 Saturdays a month, hoping to get a 4th one going. And we do the clothing giveaway on Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons from 1 to 5.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Karen. Joanne Cohn.
I am Joanne. I'm Joanne Cohn. I'm on the board of the Bridgeton Food Pantry.
Well,
Annie Robbins is the director, but she's probably out getting food right now.
Mike, it's a long time no see.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Can you introduce yourself to everyone?
I can. I am Michael Mayberry. I'm a relatively new food service director at SAD 17. I've been here for going on 4 months now.
Welcome. Thanks for joining the call today. I appreciate it. Teal.
Hey everyone, I'm Phil Rosendahl. I am the coordinator for the local food council, Community Food Matters, and also education and programming coordinator for Center for an Ecology-Based Economy, nonprofit right here in Norway. And I've got company today.
Yeah, hi, I'm Liz. I'm an intern here at CB, and I'm also a senior at the high school.
Awesome. Thanks for being on. Looks like Rosalie did come. Rosalie.
Yes, everything got canceled. So I'm home and here I am. I'm Rosalie from the Oxford Hills Food Pantry in Norway.
Awesome. And they are still looking for a permanent director. So if you are looking for another gig, got one for you. Carl Cassandi, do not raise your hand. Carl, you're up.
Hi, everyone. Carl Costanzi. I work for Western Maine Health. I do a lot of different community health work in the community and with the clinics at Stevens. And I am currently the interim manager of the Stevens Food Pantry.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. S. Searles. I'm sorry, I can't tell your name from that.
Hi, I'm Sharon Searles, and I am the supervisor for the Senior Plus Meals on Wheels program out of the Livermore office.
Oh, great. Thanks for joining us today. Amanda. I don't know if Amanda, she's got her thing off. Let's see. She's calling in.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. Amanda from Daddy-O's and our Daddy-O's Acts of Kindness Foundation. We have a little pantry, and if I could just put in a plug right now, I know some of you have been on our Acts of Kindness Facebook page, but we are taking nominations for food pantries to give away some funds for our 12 Days of Christmas campaign that we're doing. So I know we have several nominations for the old school food pantry, which is cool, and some for the table. But if everybody wants to get on, there's a video on there, comment on that thread, and we'll get you entered in to get some funding.
Free
you-
stuff.
Yeah.
Could you send the link or the more information on that, Amanda?
So yeah, it's on, if you look at the Daddy-O's Acts of Kindness Facebook page, there's a video, a very poor video of my husband and I in the dark. But on that thread, you'll see there's like, I don't know, I think we have like 100 something comments right now, just to nominate. We have 7,800 to give away to food pantries and 7,800 to give away to other nonprofits over the course of 12 days. So if you go to our Facebook page there, you'll find it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. That's great. Shannon.
Yeah, sorry, I have to keep finding the unmute button. I am Shannon. I work at the Old School Food Pantry as the AmeriCorps Vista member.
Oh, great. Great. That's terrific. Brendan.
Everyone, I'm Brendan Schaffler. I'm the network facilitator for the Oxford County Wellness Collaborative. I work out of Healthy Oxford Hills, and I'm doing some work around COVID-19 vaccines, and hoping to talk a bit about that later on.
Brendan, you are welcome to talk about that right now if you'd like. If you want to take a minute and do that now, so we make sure we get that in.
Yeah, sure. So Healthy Oxford Hills is doing some grant work to improve COVID-19 vaccination rates. Oxford County, as you may know, lags behind a lot of the state in the number of folks who are vaccinated. And we're seeing a tremendous number of cases in our local communities. So we're trying to do some work just to educate folks about the vaccine, both where they can get it and the reasons why they should consider getting it. And we have been unable to hire, we have a grant, so we have the ability to hire a 40-hour-a-week person, a community health outreach worker, but we haven't really had any applicants. We had one who then decided to do something else, unfortunately. I'm looking to connect with trusted voices in community who can help get the word out about the vaccine. And somebody suggested to me that I think about food pantries and about whether you all might have some opportunity to get the word out to the folks that you serve, perhaps by just including something as simple as like a flyer that I could provide in food boxes or bags that you were giving away. And I think it could be pretty innocuous just to say like that the vaccine is safe and effective, and here are some places that you can get, here's some places you can go to get information about the vaccine or to get vaccinated. So, right, what I was hoping to do today is connect with anyone who might be interested in just having print material like that on hand, so you could put it into food boxes or bags, or if you have any other suggestions about connecting to people that you serve, I'd be all ears.
Is that something you guys would be comfortable with? Karen, what do you want to say? Yeah. You're muted, Karen.
So Brendan, I think for us at North Freiburg Community Chapel Food Pantry, I would be more than willing to take any written materials and put it before the board. Anything that we put out in our baskets does have to get approved by the church board just to make sure it aligns with missions. So if you want to email that to me, I can get approval and let you know.
Yeah, Alina, would you just drop your email to me in the chat, or I can put mine in the chat for anybody who might be interested, whatever is most convenient.
You know what might be more convenient, Brendan? If you have something that you would like to share, I can attach it on an email to everybody, because I always send out an email after this with the link to the video and all that kind of stuff. So do you want if you want to include, if you want to get something to me, then I can distribute it. That might be, and I'll also include Brendan's information on the email.
That would be fantastic. Thank you, Holly.
We are a good distribution system. That is what we do. Awesome. And I don't want to, Bill, don't feel bad, my coworker. I think you're the last person that needs to get introduced. Bill, introduce yourself.
With Holly, I'm also a nutrition educator. I cover all the way from down to Shakopee, Rumford area, Agnes Gray, a little bit of New Suncook School in Freiburg area. So I go into classrooms and talk to kids about eating healthy snacks. And I also volunteer a little bit at the Bethel Food Pantry.
Yep. Awesome. So, so thank you all for being on today. One of the things that we had talked about in the last call was connecting with the school food pantries and finding out how we can make sure that the kids in our communities that we don't see coming to the pantries, if their families are not there, connecting with. And Amy, I'm going to share my screen one more time so you guys can see that. Amy just sent me this information. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
And that's some of the schools. However, if you know of school pantries and you're already connected with, we'd love to hear what's happening in that regard.
Because this list are the pantries that are partners with Good Shepherd, which there are different qualifications to be a school pantry with Good Shepherd. So I'm 99% sure that there's more schools out there that are trying to meet the need for their students than just this list.
Yeah.
So for the old school food pantry, when we started, we connected to all the schools, the principals, to let them know about the pantry. One of our middle schools contacted us because teachers were buying food for their students. So they asked us to supplement. So I sent the list of everything we had and they picked out what they wanted. So we shipped it over to the school. But all our schools are aware of our pantry. And if they need anything, that they can reach out to us, and we constantly communicate. And Shannon actually works with RES in their after school program. So she does a lot with their food bags as well.
Yeah. So I actually was just on a call that Carl had organized, and Mike was on as well, with the school nutrition service directors in Oxford and Androscoggin. And one of the challenges they're working with right now is so many kids are home quarantining. And so they're not getting school breakfast or lunch. So you may be seeing an increase in the number of people who are coming for that specific reason. Are you guys seeing that you know that there's more kids home? No, they are. There's hundreds. Seal?
Having 2 quarantine children myself right now, I will say, the district, I'm not sure what's happening right now, but they do work really hard and communicate really well, I feel like, and if kids are quarantined, how to get them their meals. And the district has 2 planned remote days coming up from the beginning of the year, the beginning of the school year, the 20th and the 21st. And they have communicated recently that, these are planned days and we're going to make sure people get their food. So at least I feel like the communication is good on the food front in terms of that issue. Just from what I've seen as a parent.
So if I could weigh in on that, briefly.
Please do.
With each student that gets quarantined, in their quarantine packet that they get from the nurse's office. I'm sorry. There's information to reach out to the food service department if they would like meals provided to them while they're on quarantine. We operate under the SSO, which is an offer versus serve. I've yet to have a parent reach out to me in regards to quarantine meals. However, we did just send out an application at the beginning of the week for folks that would like to enroll in take-home meals for the 2 remote days. And we're starting to get a fair amount of those returned now. We'll be distributing those on the school buses for the upcoming remote days.
Thanks for that update. So, does anybody else have any topics or anything they want to bring up? How are you prepared? Did Thanksgiving throw you for a loop? Did you get tons of stuff? Apparently Melissa has all of the produce and celery in the state of Maine. You know, this is kind of a, we don't really, today we didn't really have a big discussion topic. So I'd love just to hear how you guys are doing, what your needs are. Do you have a surplus? Do you know, what's going on? How are your volunteers holding up?
One thing also that I would like to just mention before I forget, so that I can get it out to you guys, especially because there's so many pantries on this call, and I'm, like I said, super excited about that. I'm not sure if you guys got the email, but we are, I mean, anybody is able to come to this, but we are having a winter town hall Zoom next week. And some of you may remember from last year when our president, Kristen Miele, got on and talked to a bunch of the pantries, just kind of, you know, gearing up for the winter and how difficult it's going to be. And just, you know, she's such an amazing speaker anyways. So that had a really great feedback. We got a lot of great feedback from the town hall. So we're going to have another one. It's going to be an hour. It's next Tuesday, the 14th, from 3:30 to 4:30. And I just wanted to get that out there because when these town halls come out, they do, they have a lot of good information, and we'll have some pantries speaking on that as well. So want to throw it out there, and if you can share that with whoever, that'd be great.
Amy, can you send me a link to that? Because I don't think I get an invite. Is that something that people who are not actually at a pantry can attend?
You know what? I don't think that there's any reason why they couldn't. So we're going to have presenters. Amy Gallant, she is, of course, Kristen Miele, and Amy Gallant is our, oh goodness, she works with the state of Maine. Can't think of her title at this time, but she knows a lot about SNAP. She knows a lot about the programs going in for children right now. And then Kay Gray is our sourcing manager, who has a lot of information as well. So yeah, I think that would be great. So if I can share this with you, if I can find it.
Or yeah, just email me a link and I'll put it out on that follow-up email to everybody as an extra reminder for people to come.
And I just saw on my invite here, it says Zoom link to come. So I don't even have the Zoom link.
Okay.
So as soon as I get that, I'll get that out to you, Holly, so that you can push it on to the rest of the people that you invite to this call.
Okay, great.
I think
do they want us to register?
No, sir. No, you just need to go ahead and click on the link and come on in. As far as I understand, you don't have to register.
Okay.
But it looks like it's going to be a really good information. It says, let me open that up again. So the supply chain or sourcing director will be discussing current supply chain product availability and predictions regarding future product availability, and that we are in a position to expand quantities of purchased product that we're ordering if there's pantry demand for it. Amy Gallant is what we expect to see in food insecurity trends and the stabilizing effect the extension of SNAP and universal school meals is anticipated to have. And Kristen Miele will put out a request for agencies to remove restrictions on the quantity of food, frequency of visits within their operations, which is exactly what she did last year. And there was awesome feedback and a lot of food pantries are still, expanding their geographical reach just due to the pandemic. I know that sometimes there are a lot of restrictions just due to the amount of food that pantries have. So I think it's going to be really interesting.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing, Amy. That sounds great.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
Something else I need to share is I've been doing a training through Good Shepherd Food Bank and Leah's Pantry called the Nutrition Pantry Program. And the idea is that I would work to assist a pantry or two, or however many would like to sign up to do it. And it's really a way for you to reflect on your pantry, to evaluate what your services are, how you're delivering them. It's emphasizing, obviously, more nutritious products if possible, but it's also how you present them. Are you presenting them in a way that's being received in a very dignified, considered manner? And it talks about the physical layout of your pantry, helping with volunteers and things like that. So if anybody is interested in being a part of that program, I'm going to include information on another email about that. And it's being piloted right now with Bill Glass at the East Sumner Church Food Pantry. There was 2 I think in the state of Maine in our area that were picked to pilot it, and he's been really happy with it. That's why they came out with that grocery list when they were having people order the food. That came out of the Nutrition Pantry program, just them kind of thinking how they're doing certain things to better serve the organization, the volunteers, as well as the clients who come to the pantry. So if you're interested in something like that or to hear more about it, please reach out to me. It's something that we can start at any time. So if you're overwhelmed right now and the idea of reflection is not good, we can do it another time. But just kind of put that in your minds. And maybe it is a good time to do something like that. And your organization is ready to kind of think about where do we go from here and how are we doing things? So that's my bit for today. Joan, you're muted right now.
Yes, I got it. Thanks.
Good job.
Well, that was my question, and I apologize because I'm new to this game. I'm on the board, but I also have been volunteering in the pantry just to get a sense of what goes on. And I was wondering how other pantries do somehow steer people to the healthier foods. Like I was with a woman yesterday who was a diabetic, and some of the food that we get, and I assume we're not unusual, it's leftover pastries and breakfast buns and some god awful blue and pink stuff in a gallon jug, which I would also wonder if people have rules about what they even offer, because I would, if nobody was looking, I would have thrown it out the back door rather than have somebody drink it. But how do other pantries do that? Like, do you have a way of guiding people to low sugar products or what healthy things? Or, I mean, it's all the same issues. Whatever's already, it seems, ready-made, people like, but the ready-made stuff is not so good.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Joan. I want to let some of these pantry people respond.
We've had a similar issues where it's hard to get sugar-free things for diabetics. I've actually looked even to go shopping, like in a grocery store for them, but things tend to be mixed up. And you can't just say, where's your diabetic section in a lot of places, or even if you're picking up for Good Shepherds, you might get some of that in a box. We try to wean out anything that comes gluten-free. We have a gluten-free section.
Wow.
We have a gentleman that can't eat any processed food. He doesn't take a whole lot of things. We save him out whole wheat bread when we have that. And, you know, we're learning what he can and can't eat. We give him an extra, we get gift cards for people to help meet their dairy needs since we had gone into the COVID restrictions. And we give him an extra gift card to go purchase his the food that he can eat. Some of it is not a lot, but it's helpful. And so it is difficult. And I find it hard. I know we have like a table full of empty calories all the time, the breads and the pastries, but I don't, it's hard to steer them away from it. And we all like to have a sugar fix sometimes. So I don't do it. But it would be nice if there was, I don't know if Good Shepherds could ever get like sugar-free products where we could actually order them, or gluten-free and know you're getting certain gluten-free, because it's hit or miss.
Or low sodium too.
Yes, but the low sodium is, we get a lot of the canned products with low sodium.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I know that we really went towards, you know, the wheat pastas and the low sodium canned vegetables. We didn't get a lot of great feedback on the wheat pastas, but I think that we're still getting them just because of the nutrition program that we're trying to, you know, encourage people to follow. So we do have the low sodium canned vegetables. With our supply chain or our sourcing group, actually we have an actual sourcing department now, which we've never had in Good Shepherd. So we have people that have the capacity to go in there and say, what do the food pantries want and need? So gluten-free, culturally relevant food, sugar-free, stuff like that. I mean, I think that a lot of that would obviously depend on the demand because of the feedback that we received when we switched everything from white flour to wheat, and when we switched everything to regular vegetables to low sodium. Like I said, there was not a great feedback on that. But again, we didn't stop. And hopefully, you know, with more people wanting to eat nutritious and with Leah's Pantry getting out there, I think that Kay will be able to really make that change. So it's really good to hear you guys are looking for that kind of stuff. And I will definitely share that with the sourcing team so that can get that ball rolling in their head.
Well, in spite of what I said, Amy, we cannot move whole wheat macaroni. I can't give it away.
Linda, tell people to cook it longer. If they cook longer, it takes the cardboardness out of it. It really does. I accidentally overcooked it in a class and we couldn't tell the difference. I mean, I literally, we had this macaroni sitting, we were going to be mixing it with all the stuff. And we were like, oh my gosh, you just cook it longer and it softens it up. It really does. Don't go by the package directions. Add another 5 minutes.
I would give that a whirl.
And you know what, Linda, what I would suggest is to make some, have it on hand in a little cup and let people taste it so they can see that if you cook it a little bit longer, it's a little better.
Yeah, we have had to cook a few things, but that was what the extension lady was great at. I've forgotten her name. She used to come and cook things and people would sample them. I think her job was done.
Karen Toohey?
Yeah, yeah.
She has retired, yes.
Yes, and I don't think her
said nice
position.
things about it.
Yeah, and I don't think her position was ever filled, but that was
No,
very
it wasn't.
helpful. Yeah,
It was
'cause she
not, but
came-
Linda, if you want somebody to come out and do a demo or something like that, I can come out and do that. That's under my job description.
Yeah, our kitchen is
Bill and I
very
can-
small. And what Karen did that I liked was that she came with everything pre-made, because during pantry day, there's not room for anybody to be in there cooking up anything. I mean, there's no
Right.
space.
And
But-
I've done it for Oxford Hills Food Pantry. Like I've roasted chickpeas and I made different things with all those lentils that nobody knows what to do with. And I dropped it off. So I can do that for you. Let me know what ingredient you're trying to push. And I can, and tell me how many things you want. And I'll bring it on your pantry day or get it to you.
That's great. Thank you.
Definitely something I can do. And I'm always happy to share recipes that you can print and put in. Carl said they had a lot of spaghetti squash and he heard that I was doing it with the kids this month. So he sent out some spaghetti squash recipes.
Yeah, and we have done a lot of sharing of the recipes that I get off your site. But one thing new for us that we did try, I just want to give Foothills Foodworks a compliment. They managed to get someone to deliver to us in Sweden. And we had our first meal the third Wednesday in November. Started really small and we didn't have any leftovers, so I'll keep upping the numbers. I just wasn't sure. I didn't want to end up with way too much of anything, so that worked out well. And the lady that delivered them was wonderful. I forget her name.
That's great. That's great to hear. Chris is doing a lot of good stuff and I know he's now serving at Old School Pantry as well. So they're happy to add on if there's somebody else that is looking, as long as they can get it to you. I know transportation is an issue. Anybody else? How are you dealing with, I know Good Shepherd and I personally have spoken to Hannaford in Oxford about maybe make less sheet cakes and then you don't have to get rid of so many of them. But I think, Amy, what is the policy with when people are getting donations of foods, especially the sweet stuff? Can they say no?
Unfortunately, the partnership between the retailers and the pantries, for lack of a better term, there's not allowed to be any cherry picking. They have to take it all or take none. And that all has to do with the burden on the store. And I know that it puts extra burden on the food pantries, which is not the intent at all. What it is, the receivers are so busy and all of the different departments are so busy. So they get the food that they're culling out into the receiving room for the pantries to pick up. If they have an abundance, which most of them do, because bakery, I learned just the other day that like bread, you're going to have bread coming out of your ears probably most of the time, because French bread, a loaf takes maybe Hannaford 35 cents to make, and they'll sell it for a couple of dollars. So it costs less for them to make a whole bunch of it and not lose a sale than it does for them to just make so much of it and then cull it. That's just bread. As far as sheet cake goes, I'm not sure what the profit margin is on that. But so
And
yeah,
Amy,
so
can I ask you a question? Does Hannaford gets paid by Good Shepherds per pound for that food or no? Am I wrong?
no, Good Shepherd and Hannaford, no, there's no money exchanged.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, what the benefit is for Hannaford to donate to pantries is that it is granted, if they donate it or if they throw it away, it's shrink, which is costing them money either way, but they can also take the pounds that they're donating. It's a donation for them.
Okay.
And then they can.
The reason I'm asking, I'm glad to hear that, is because some of the boxes that we get, in are questionable at best, but they're like filled with the leaves off the cabbage. You know, most of the box is that with a couple heads of cabbage. And I'm going, geez, I hope that if Good Shepherds isn't paying for that. Or half the berries are molded, and so we throw them. So as long as you're not having to pay for it, I can stop my rent.
The only thing that the retailers ask from us is that we get the reporting of the pounds that we can give to them so that they know how many pounds they've got given out to the community. Now, as far as non-quality food, like you're talking about getting, what that pretty much chalks up to, I can say, is for one, it's a lack of education in the department that is culling. So they may not, it could be a lot of turnover in that department. It could be a lack of staff in that department. But say produce, just for example, as you were talking about that, there could be somebody who is looking at it going, I wouldn't eat this, so I'm not going to give it to a pantry. But they're looking at an apple that has a bruise on one side. They don't understand that you can cut that bruise off and eat 3/4 of it. So that's what Good Shepherd CRRs, that's what we would go in there and educate the manager and educate the staff and just let them know, go through the cull and make sure that the cull is actually culled and what can be disposed of. I haven't been in a store since March 2020. And it's really difficult to teach them over the phone. And I apologize. And I thank you guys for everything that you guys have to dispose of. But what I do ask of you is if our percentage of spoil that you guys should be receiving, that is kind of like an expected receiving, is 35%. So 35% of what you receive, an acceptable amount that you have to dispose of, is 35%. Anything more than that, I know that that's quite a big percentage, but anything more than that, if you're getting it consistently, let me know. I can at least call the manager and say, what's going on? Is there less staff? Is there big turnover? So yeah, I know that there's an issue out there. Thank you.
Well, as long as you're not paying for it, like I said.
No, but
they should learn a little. I feel like I'm being a bee.
No.
But anyway, I think they could do better with packing, because we still get the tomatoes on the bottom and squashes on top of the tomatoes. And so you're throwing out the tomatoes, not because they weren't good, but because they were squished. And now they're not good. So I don't know what that entails. Like I say, I know they're busy. They may just take a box and dump it.
Yeah. And the biggest thing I think is that, I think the biggest thing, honestly, is an educational piece of that. They're just unaware of what can go to you guys. Shoot, I had something I was going to say and I lost it. That's okay. It'll come back if it does. It does. But yeah, again, what I was going to say is that this partnership that you all have with the retailers, it is in no means supposed to be a burden on either one of your sides. It's not supposed to be more work. I know you guys go and pick up, which is a lot of work, but other than that, it's supposed to be a wicked benefit for you guys. So please just keep me in the loop. I will do my best from a phone to get those problems resolved. And as soon as I can get in the store, I think that it'll be a big difference.
Well, I think we're pretty lucky over in our area because Walmart and Hannaford, they do a great job. We have not much waste at all, other than the cabbage leaves, which is kind of interesting when we have a couple boxes of just random leaves. But they do a great job over in our area. So we're pretty lucky.
We send the food like that is squished, or the cabbage leaves. We do have a farmer that has been taking that.
Yeah.
And the other good piece that we now have, Dinner Bell North, which is out of Freiburg. They feed families weekly as long as school is in session. And we're fortunate to have a volunteer working for us and and she also volunteers there. So our leftovers with pastries and breads and fruits that we do have leaves our table and goes to theirs because they happen to serve on Wednesday night and we're open on Wednesday. So it's just, and I feel a lot better about that than, because I don't mind giving it to the animals, but that's not, we're in the business of feeding people. So I felt better about that.
That's a great relationship, Linda, to have somebody who, when your pantry is closed, can use it right away. That's really awesome. Are you all familiar with the Maine Meal Assistance Group? Someone reached out to me last week on Facebook about it, and they are actually making meals for families and individuals. I'm trying to get a list from them of where they are because it's all over the state of Maine, like who's in our area doing it. Is anybody aware of them or that group? Because that would be a good resource too for extra food and stuff that needed to get used right away. I was thinking.
Yeah.
Shannon's made a great connection in our area with the American Legion. So if you have American Legion around you, whenever we have reached out to our other pantry partners, the American Legion takes a lot of our leftovers and they love it and they get it out the next day. So that's a good place to look.
One of
I
the
know.
things that we
Go ahead,
do, sorry, one of the things that we set up because we were experiencing a lot of the bakery items and we just weren't set up for the numbers. We're hooked up with one of the local manufacturing employers. So they're one of the second or third largest employers in the area, and one of their staff comes to get all of our excess food when we close. So anything that we have that's perishable at the end of the night for bakery items or produce that's still in good shape but isn't going to last until the next Tuesday, we put out on the bench in banana boxes and he comes to get it. He brings it to the break room on Wednesday morning, and the guys that work there can take them home. So that works. And we have found when we're inundated with a lot of the 0-calorie junk food stuff, we only pack what's reasonable inside their boxes to go home. And then we just immediately ship the rest of that over to them at the factory. And then the other random acts of news, we have an abundance of tampons still. So if any pantry is looking for feminine products, hook up with me. It's in our shed, banana boxes of the loose tampons. We have the regulars and the supers. We've been pushing them for probably 6 months. I've dropped them off at every location near us that has ladies of that age that may need them. But we will share with other pantries if you guys want to come get them.
Cool, thank you.
And I just wanted to give this suggestion that I know Andover Food Pantry, when they have an excess of produce, they'll give it to the Andover General Store. They have a table set up that they really appreciate, that they just set the food out there and the people who come in will grab what they want and go off with it. So, I mean, it depends on how your general stores are, but Andover does that.
The guy that does volunteers to take our trash, which sometimes includes, good food if the community, if they're not serving dinners at the other place, but he used to take excess, he'd take it to the recovery center in Bridgeton and put it on the tables there, which I thought was also a nice use of the food, and they appreciated it.
Sure. One thing I could use some brain picking on, I know we're all in different areas, but typically we do have farmers to take our stuff, but I do find in the winter, most of our farmers, I have like 6 or 8 that I work with, are all sending their pigs to slaughter. So I only have one who sometimes does winter pigs. I found a goat farmer who wants it, but we have too much for them. Any other ideas for sending the pig scraps?
People with chickens.
Yeah, it's too much though.
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and because we're out there in North Freiburg and it's critter central, I can't just leave it. Like I need someone to consistently come get it. I can't say, have 5 or 6 chicken farmers come and take a little bit here and there. I need it to be gone by the next day.
We have the same thing because the farmers are only taking it during the.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to do winter pigs. They taste good, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So thankfully, one of the farmers was so happy with picking up our scraps all spring. He just donated half a pig back to the pantry. So that was lovely.
Wow, that's wonderful recycling.
Yep.
That's a good relationship. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Is there any way to is this food in any way able to be processed? Could somebody take it and make a vegetable sauce out of it or something like that? It's just not good.
No, it's definitely the scraps stuff. Because anything that's somewhat salvageable, we put on our extras table. So people that know how to cook well and know to cut the apple in half or pick through this or that, we'll take it. And then anything that's extra goes to the manufacturing place. So it's definitely the scraps.
Is
Any
Elena,
composters? Because if people that compost, I don't know if there's any big farms that do that.
That's a good thing to look into.
Thank you. What about the gardening group up in, you're in North Freiburg, right? I'm trying to think. They're in Rumford. I know, like the gardeners growing healthy communities. I don't know if they're composting in the winter.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you said that there's a whole lot of it. It's mostly produce, or is it bad meat and bakery too?
No, it's all produce. And
all produce.
It's probably 1 to 2 5-gallon buckets on Sunday when we pick up from Hannaford, and then maybe a quarter to a half a bucket on Tuesday of stuff that didn't quite make it till Tuesday.
Okay.
You said 35%, Amy. I was thinking that in my experience at the pantry in Bethel, that would be huge numbers. We're not throwing out anywhere near 35% of what's coming in. We're well below that.
Yeah.
It was more like 5 or 10%. So I would say generally the quality of stuff that we're getting and moving out is generally pretty good as far as it goes.
Ours is too. I definitely think that we're not anywhere close to 35%, but we do get quite a bit of produce.
Yeah.
And we pick up on Sunday and we don't distribute till Tuesday. So some of it goes bad. It's great on Sunday, but it's not good on Tuesday.
Yeah. And that's why I asked, because I was wondering, I was picturing, like, I know that two 5-gallon buckets is quite a bit of scrap, but I was picturing in my mind a whole lot more, and it was freaking me out. So
I was too. I was thinking, the back of a
like
pickup
a truckload.
Yeah, I was thinking of back of a pickup truck myself.
No, I see that guy goes by. He gets it from Shaw's. He goes by.
And then my next question was, is it from North Conway or Good Shepherd? Because I gotta know where.
It's from North Conway. Yeah.
You have to pick up on Sunday?
It's the only day that they had available when we signed up for it last year. I think the Brown Church picks up on Monday, because that would be preferable to us too, is to do it on Monday or Tuesday.
You might want to go back and ask them. Things have changed a lot in a year, and it might be worth just asking.
Because we pick up the morning of the pantry, and still, which is perfect. I mean, it reduces the waste, because sometimes by afternoon, when we're the produce would have gone bad. So I can imagine if you're picking up on Sunday.
Right, and that's what they do in Norway at the Foothills. They pick up in the morning and it's got to be gone by that night, you know. That
And
happens.
Alina, I, because I haven't been on the road since March 2020, and I think I brought you on or
Like
as
the
a
month
partner,
before that.
like a month before COVID hit. I honestly, I haven't even been in the North Conway store because it took a little while for Good Shepherd to develop the relationship because it's in New Hampshire and not in Maine. So I wasn't even sure if I could go over there and develop relationships. So I honestly, I don't even have a contact at the North Conway store. So
Yeah, it's not through, we hooked up with them separately from Good Shepherd.
Yeah.
Just by me going in there. Yeah.
yeah. And I think that that's something, once we get back on the road, I'll develop a relationship over there. But yeah, so as far as anybody open, any other days open, I have no clue, and I'm sorry I can't help you.
That's okay. I'll
this
call
time.
my contact, Matt, find out. It's a good
Thank
suggestion.
you.
Thanks, guys.
Anybody else need any brainstorms?
I just want to say hi to Seal. I don't know if you remember me, Seal, but you interned at the New Suncook School, right? Did you intern there?
Yes.
Yeah, and I was there, and I don't know what capacity, but I remember you well. You were awesome.
She is
Your
awesome.
face is familiar. Thank you so much.
Yeah, were you with Cindy Breuer for a teacher?
Karen Johnson.
Karen, she just retired. I love Karen. Yeah, and I think I must have been in special ed then, and I went into different people's room, and that's why I know you, because you were there.
Thanks for speaking up.
Does anybody else have anything else? Yep, Joan.
Yes, I have another maybe stupid question. The food pantry is like, I think it was from, I think Bolster's Mills was saying that they offer like breakfast and things like that. When pantries serve food, do you have to get certain licensure for or certification for a kitchen, or can you just go and make food and serve it? Aren't there
Bolster's
rules?
Mill is not a food pantry. The Table is a meal preparation group. And they also have a meeting space. Karen, are you still on? I see she's still on.
Yeah.
I don't see it. Karen, you want to unmute yourself, Karen? But they're not a food pantry.
Oh, I see. So I'm not sure if she wants to say something, but like, for example, I've noticed.
Joanne, yes, you do have to have a separate certification to prepare food, and you have to have your kitchen approved as well.
Right.
I
So a
see.
lot of the food pantries are getting meals from an organization called the Foothills Food Works that prepares meals at a certified kitchen and delivers them packaged for pickup at food pantries. So that's what Linda was talking about. I don't think they're nurse, but they're at like 7 locations now. And I can connect you to Chris Borden with the Foothills Food Works if you'd like, if you're interested. They are getting a good amount of funding, and he's got really good help right now. So they could, you know, if you wanted to see if Bridgeton could get their ready-made meals, they try to source locally, and they're very healthy.
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay, I
And
will
as-
connect you guys.
And as far as Good Shepherd requirements for our partners to serve ready-made meals, all we ask is that, because we don't monitor the kitchen that they're prepared in, all we ask is there's some kind of a sign, some kind of something stating that this was made in Foothills Food Works, or this was made in Joanne's kitchen, so that the people who are taking the food that is pre-made, they know that it takes all accountability off of the food pantry and Good Shepherd, because we don't know how, because we monitor soup kitchens and make sure that it's food safety compliant. if you're stating that this food is not from your space, it's taking accountability off you.
Okay, because I was thinking like roasting some cauliflower and at least
Yeah.
having people taste it, or roasting vegetables.
Yeah, just let them know that it's coming from Joanne's kitchen.
Amy,
And then if they
does that need
die-
to be labeled on every meal that gets handed out?
No, no, as long as they know that it's not coming from the food pantry.
Okay,
So
so
if
just a
there's
sign in front.
a sign
says
in front of
that.
the crock pot, or a sign, or if you have some kind of a label to put on the packaging, if it's a package, like if it's a package of cookies, stick in there, made at Melissa's house or Melissa's kitchen or something
I'm
like
just thinking
that.
the Foothills Food Works, they don't label it. So if we just had it out on the table where we give them
Yeah.
out, that's good enough.
Perfect.
Okay.
It
Thank you.
just, like I said, takes accountability off you guys.
If you put like, one of their flyers out with it, which I urge them to do as long with a recipe, because I always worry about if people have food allergies and they don't know what's in it. And the person who's there hasn't made it, you know, with some kind of description about it.
Okay.
But it should also be covered under the Good Samaritan food so that people are not liable if it is food that is being given for free.
Okay, great, thank you.
But it is, but I think it's best if you could label food and tell people what's in it at the very least. So.
Mhm. Thanks.
So, okay, well, if that's it for everybody today, thank you for joining us. It's been great to see everybody, and we had a nice sized group and I think a really good discussion. Thank you, all of you, for coming, especially the pantry people. I know that you are mostly volunteers and we appreciate everything that you do, and I know all of your clients do as well. Our next meeting will be the second Wednesday in January. So if I don't see you, have a happy holiday, stay healthy, stay safe. Look for a follow-up email. I'll have Brendan's information in it. I'll wait for Amy to send me her link. So I'll send it all out at once so there aren't a million emails. And I'll make sure that Joan gets connected with Foothills Food Works. And if anybody needs tampons, contact Alina. And it's all good. Oh, and don't forget Daddy-O's Acts of Kindness on Facebook. Put your food pantry down. They have money to give, and that's what they would like to do. And it's wonderful that they do it. So let's give them that opportunity. So, okay.
And I just want to say really quick that it is, just to echo what Holly said, it is so wonderful to see all the pantries on this call. I mean, you guys made my whole December and my holiday season just seeing your faces. So thank you so much. Big hugs to all of you guys.
Big hugs. This is what this is for all of you.
Yes.
And Mike, thank you for joining us and giving us your input. We loved having you.
Thank you. Sorry about having to get up. I have state police here for Alice training, so I've been pulling double duty.
No problem. Not a problem. Okay, everybody, take care.
Take care. Happy
Bye.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.